Hello, and welcome back to the newsroom. Where have we been for a month? We've been trying to find news, and now we found it, and we are ready to talk about the.
It didn't take long.
Honestly, bro, like cutting out the intro, I feel so blessed to be doing this show with you in this last like 4 months because I have like endless content.
I hate my life. I hate my life.
Well, and then like, oh, I hear a story like a week ago. I'm like, oh man, we can totally talk about this. This will be great. And then something else comes out the next day. I'm like, frick, what am I going to do?
It's like you like, and we both have lists going throughout the week, and so it's like when we didn't record the last couple, we're like, what do we do? Because we've had these lists going for like the last month, and it's like, well, we just got to do it. We got to hit it.
Yeah. So we are back. We both got extremely sick at like the worst times, but we were finally.
It was like
better.
you got sick, and then I was sick, and then your internet went off, and I was
and then I
Dude,
got sick again.
This is like, yeah, it just didn't work out.
Yeah, but we're here. So how about we get started? We go right into it. Spencer, what do you got for us?
So, Zelensky was doing a thing.
Oh.
I don't know how else to do this. So, like last time he came to the White House, he got a standing ovation and, was in front of Congress. They all clapped for him, oh, we're all SEALs, retarded, Yeah. That didn't happen this time. So Zelensky went to the White House, and here's a clip. You don't have the cards. You have no cards.
You don't have the cards.
And this is what Trump thinks.
I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. You people are very brave.
You're a tough guy. I don't like tough guys. I don't like tough guys. Not at all.
But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty.
It reminds me of like Rocky versus Creed in the first Rocky movie. You know what I'm saying? You're going to fight it out. The Italian stallion versus the Ukrainian. It's going to be incredible.
Bro, whether you love or hate Trump, you got to admit, funniest president. Come on.
He is clip farming for his YouTube channel later on.
It's incredible. I love it.
Yeah.
But you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing.
That's not a nice thing. You're not thankful. It's not a nice thing.
Dude. The president of the United States just like verbally assaulting this guy.
You're not acting at all thankful. That's not a nice thing.
Here's the funny thing. Like, did you watch like the entire like
I did. It was hilarious.
Bro, Trump and Vance were being so nice, and then Zelensky comes out, he's like, what have you done for us? And Trump's just like, what are you talking about? You're at the White House. You want our aid.
Dude, and we were talking about this during the pre-show, and we were like, hold on. How much money have we given them?
Oh man, it's an insane amount.
How much did we land on? What's the official count according to all the stuff that got passed and things like that? How much money have we actually given them? Yeah.
If you include not only like military aid, but also like all the extra aid that we gave, approximately, maybe off a couple billion, $100 billion in aid. For context,
I got a small loan of $1 million.
Yeah, let me get a loan of $100 million.
Yeah. Zelensky said, "I'm about to be the next Trump. Watch this."
Bro, and he's acting like we haven't even helped him at all. It's like, yo, we gave you more money than we gave Afghanistan in 20 years of conflict in Afghanistan.
What was the number? What was the number for Afghanistan? Because I thought you read it to me, and I was like, "That's and I literally chuckled to myself. I went, in 20 years. This has been going on for 4.
No,
has this been going on for 4?
I didn't read that number. I gave you a complete number.
Oh, okay.
Oh, here.
How much did we spend in 20 years in Afghanistan?
It says, I'm trying to look.
It has to be somewhere in the ballpark of like what, 10 billion with all the bases we built, things like that, or more, do you think?
Okay, so I'm seeing a range of there must be something wrong here. I'm seeing a range between 300 million and 8 trillion. So something is off here. But
That's probably including all the CIA spending.
Well,
I am very happy with my life. I do not want to die. If I show up dead, it wasn't because of
yes.
suicide.
If anything happens to us, we did not kill ourselves. We were happy with our life.
We are very happy with our lives. I just want to say that.
But I looked up like the Lend-Lease Act that the U.S. passed in World War II.
Oh yeah,
The whole goal of that was to help other countries, and also like we were in war, the entire world. And it was purposely meant to spend money to help people, and we spent 54 billion for
is that
an actual
adjusted for today?
adjusted for today. We're probably looking at 150 billion, but still, that's
that's a world war.
That's a world war.
That's literally every nation fighting. So we gave 50 billion to the UK, to Russia, to China. And that includes military assets like tanks, artillery, ammo, things like that.
Well, and
so
the hard part about all these numbers is like getting any like accurate number is extremely difficult during a conflict, because it's not even just like the actual aid you send, it's the ammunition, the weapons, all
you want to know what's crazy about that though, Drew? The UK paid back portions of it. I didn't bring that up when we were talking before, but isn't that crazy that the UK, it was over a period of time, but the Ukraine paid it back.
Well,
Russia it paid back portions of it. Not a ton, like it's Russia. I mean,
I also forgot that the aid that we're sending to Ukraine is a loan.
Oh, we about to make bank on those people. I hope they got oil fields.
That's why it's like, you have no cards. You have no cards.
You have no cards, bro. We need to end the war so you can start paying us back. That's Trump's position. He wants money.
I'm stealing this meme, but don't play Uno with Trump. He's like, you got no cards. I got you.
You got no cards. Wait. I have no cards.
I have no cards. Uno.
Oh my gosh, dude. You can't make up Trump. Like, Trump is the Trumpster. And oh my gosh, it's not on the schedule to talk about, but can we talk about just really quickly the tariffs that are happening?
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, totally.
So Trump goes, we're gonna tariff Canadian goods 25% or something like that. So he puts a tariff on Canada. This guy, they put a tariff on us, and so they're pulling liquor from American manufacturers out of all Canadian stores. You can't buy anymore.
Yes, but here's the slight problem with that. Spencer, what do you buy that's Canadian? Syrup?
No, I buy American syrup.
like what do you buy Canadian? I don't know.
Honestly, couldn't tell you what I buy Canadian, but I feel like it has got something to do with the Alaska pipeline.
I mean, maybe. I'm an uninformed American, but I don't buy any Canadian stuff.
Oh my gosh, what do I buy that's Canadian? I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
We're going to take our toys away. Well, we don't play with your toys, so...
We're going to take our maple syrup away. Your maple syrup sucked anyway, Canada.
I mean...
I'm going to get roasted. I love Canadian syrup, honestly. It's really good, sweet.
But, Canadian syrup is great. Yeah, I will say that.
Have you had it?
Oh, man.
I want to say a Canadian joke, but I don't want to get in trouble.
Oh no, just say it. We're already past that point.
So, have you heard the story about the Canadian who went to Denny's?
No.
So this Canadian, he walks into Denny's and he goes, "I'd like a couple pancakes, please. And what kind of syrups do you have?" And the Denny's, waitress goes, "Well, the syrups are right there, sir. Take a look at them." And he goes, And he takes a little tasting spoon and starts pouring some and tasting the syrup. And while the waiter has left at this point to go put in the pancake order, he's tasted all of them. And he looks at the waiter when she comes back and says, basically, "Are you sure that's syrup? That tastes like water." And then whips out a small vial of his syrup and shoves it on. That's the Canadian that went to Denny's.
Bro, honest to God, I had a roommate from Michigan in college, and thick beard mountain guy, and randomly he leaves for Christmas, and he comes back,
Uh-huh.
and my other roommate's making pancakes or waffles, and he pulls it out of his shirt. He's like, I have the special syrup. I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
Yo, that is crazy. I
It
could
was
not
good.
imagine it. Was it?
It was excellent, but also like, I don't want shirt syrup. Like,
Did he not have it in a container? It was just on his chest.
he always had it. Like, he
No,
had it
he
on him
didn't,
all
bro.
the time. Yes.
I know who you're talking about. No, he did not,
Yes,
bro.
he did. Yeah, he kept that thing all around just in case.
I knew you when you were in college, bro. I knew him. Are you serious? Just in case.
Just in case. And until it ran out, and then he was gone. But yeah, oh yeah. He
the
totally
level of cap that I'm sensing right now is insane. I'm going to call him later. I'm going to shoot him a message and be like, yo, did you keep maple syrup around your neck the whole time I knew you?
I don't know if he remembers it, but I distinctly remember a time where like we went out to like an IHOP or a Denny's and he brought his syrup. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
He brought his syrup. That's how serious this man was.
It was good syrup, I gotta say.
Okay, Drew. Okay, so good syrup. Was it in a little vial?
Yes, it was in a little vial.
It wasn't, bro.
It like, you know, like those little cologne bottles, like this really small travel size. It was like that.
I have those. I should fill it with syrup and give it to my Canadian friends. I don't know if I have any after this episode, but I should give it to my Canadian friends before it travels.
I'm telling you, it was strong maple syrup. It was good, but man, I just looked at him like, what are we doing?
I forgot a part of the joke. No. When the waiter comes back, she asked what happened to all the maple syrup, and it was in his water cup. It was flavoring. I'm sorry, that's my bad.
How'd you forget that part of the joke?
Because it was supposed to be said before it, like, oh, it tastes like water, you know? But you pity laughed for me, so I just kept going.
It was so funny.
Oh my god.
You can tell we haven't done this in like a month because we're out of it, bro.
We're out of it, man. What's the next one? So, yeah, Canadians tariffing us, we're tariffing them. It all turns out in the end.
It's a tariff party. I think
Nothing
after
like a tariff
that,
party.
we're talking about Doge and all the crazy
Doge?
stuff with Doge.
Dude, Doge is insane right now. They're cutting spending. I love what they're doing. I wish that they would think a little bit more about what they cut and who they try to cut. But you have some stuff that they've cut, and I've not seen this list yet.
No, you have not. So this is going to be a live reaction. So I have a list from 1 to 10. How about we just start with 9 and we'll go up from there, okay?
9, you're skipping 10?
No. Yeah, 10. I personally don't know if 10 is true, but I think the other ones are all true.
Okay, you vetted the source. Gotcha.
Okay. So things that Doge has found that the government has spent money on. How about $2 million for research on whether politicians blink less than regular people?
What? That's government research right there?
That's an actual...
I have what they're funding?
I have a source.
You have a source?
I have a legitimate source.
What's the source? Can
Political
I ask?
Science Research Fund of 2024.
Oh, they funded that last year?
Yes.
Okay, so they funded $2 million to see if politicians blink less or more?
Yes.
Well, they obviously blink more because when you lie, you blink.
So, I guess we found out. But are you ready for this next one?
What is it, Drew? What is this next one?
$900,000 for a national museum of unfinished government products.
No. A museum for it?
The source is the Department of Cultural Affairs, 2024.
They're never gonna build it. It takes too many regulations to get through to build anything nowadays. They're never gonna even build it.
And this is where like some of them I'm like I it sounds so ridiculous that I don't know if it's actually true, but then there's also sourcing for all this. So I'm like,
but isn't it believable that we would do something like that, bro?
Yeah, it is.
The museum is going to end up in a museum in 20 years because they're never going to finish it. You know, like that's American bureaucracy right there. Like they're going to start it and then they're never gonna finish it, bro.
Bro, it's museumception.
A museum in a museum.
Museum. It's genius. No one thought about that.
Yo, hold on. What's your anchor item?
Okay.
Dice.
You ready for
Because
this
we're
next
rolling
one?
the dice on an American government here, bud.
Oh, this is even better. 3.5 million on training pigeons to deliver Wi-Fi signals.
No. No. All right. Next. No. Just no. That's my
What?
reaction.
1.8 million for a study on the psychological effects of losing at rock, paper, scissors. That's the Department of Mental Health Studies in 2024.
I believe it. We could be studying actual depression, anxiety, social, issues. But, no, let's study what happens when somebody loses at rock, paper, scissors. This is what our government funds.
Bro,
Okay.
I've never been depressed, but when I lost a lot rock, paper, scissors, I had real depression.
I have real contemplation of suicide in that moment.
Side topic, I'm actually pretty good at rock, paper, scissors. Just saying.
Yeah, what is it? It's like if it's rock, you always throw rock first, and then if you win, you go rock, paper, and then you go paper, scissors, and if you lose, you go backwards. So you go scissors, paper, then paper, rock. Then
So
rock,
here's the
scissors.
thing. What I found out is that normally people will switch their choices. If it's best 2 out of 3, they'll switch their choices constantly. And if they lose a hand, they will switch the choice in the next hand to beat what they lost. So if you have rock and they have scissors, then they will 9 out of 10 times choose paper next because they think that you'll just choose rock again. So I found out that if you just keep choosing rock, and you do rock until you win one hand and then do scissors, you're going to win 95% of the time.
Okay, Drew, you're the reason why they had to do this study.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, I relate to the study.
You're like, I'm tired of losing. I'm going to find the mathematical perfect way to win rock, paper, scissors.
Dude, honestly, it was literally, I figured this out in 8th grade. I was like, I wonder if there's a way I could hack the game and figure
did
this
it.
out. No joke. Honest to God, that was my reasoning in 8th grade. I wanted to win.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind. I can't ever get enough.
Speaking of money on your mind, how about $400,000 for a research project on whether ducks can enjoy classical music?
How does that benefit me?
That's a great question.
All right, next. I don't want to talk about that one.
1.2 million for a reality show about bureaucracy.
It's happening. We didn't have to spend any money.
House of Cards.
Put a camera. Really? Kevin Spacey's the one example you're going to?
I mean,
what? That's crazy.
That's
crazy. I'm like, just put cameras in the White House and in Congress right now, and then boom.
Honestly, it is kind of like the Real Housewives of DC.
It's the Real Housewives of DC. It is. It's the Real Housewives of DC right now, featuring Donald Trump Jr.
Yo, if they had a Trump cam where you could just watch what Trump is doing or saying, I'd watch that.
Pay for it. I'd pay a subscription for that.
Yo, the amount of content we get is incredible.
How to get out of the debt situation in America is fund the debt repayments with the Trump cam. It's not a bad idea.
It's genius.
It's gonna make money. You just have somebody. You hire somebody who's like a vlogger, like David Dobrik or somebody like that, who's well respected, and it's Mr. Beast. Yes, Mr. Beast is gonna follow Trump for the next 3 years on the journey, and it's gonna be entitled the cam subscription is gonna be entitled "Paying Off the U.S. Debt in 4 years what 100 years couldn't do."
Honestly, I'd watch it too. That's the crazy part.
I would too. I'd pay for that.
Oh man. I don't know if this one's true, but I'm just gonna say it anyways. How about 5 million for a gold-plated conference table for a remote work department?
Did you just speak English?
5 million
Yes.
on a gold-plated conference table for a work-from-home department.
Bro.
I don't know if that's true. It sounds so insane.
But is it not something that the government would do?
Well, that's the thing.
Is
Like,
it not? Does it sound so insane that it's like, the government would never do that? We're talking about the same people who experimented on us in the 70s with
that is true.
a
Oh, man.
literal acid trips to try to make people psychic
I forgot
or
about the CIA
mind
doing
readers.
that.
Yeah, the CIA, bro. That's
Can you like
crazy.
give us a little like description of that for those people that don't know what happened?
I don't know a ton about it because I've never like researched it, but it was like the whole goal was to unknowingly drug people to see if they develop psychic or telekinetic abilities, like something like that, where they could read people's minds.
I think you're right, and I think that they did it because there's some Soviet video of a lady with telekinesis powers and like freaked the U.S. out.
It was fake.
It was fake, but
Also, crazy opinion. I watched some of the nuclear blast footage from the like 50s and 60s. I'm pretty sure it's fake. I'm pretty sure it's fake, bro.
really,
Here's why. The like when you see the house blow up, how is the camera still standing? From the shockwave. How is the camera still standing? It has to be like it. Now, I'm not saying like I'm sure it's fake. I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything, but that's just a simple question that I'd like an answer to, and I'd like to see a
Good point.
documentation of how they mounted this camera because I've worked with cameras. They're not exactly the most industrial thing in the world, you know.
That's actually a really good point. I haven't thought about it like that.
I saw it on Joe Rogan and I looked at the video like on my own and I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Yo,
My whole life, my trust in the government, zero. So I believe everything you just said that we spent money on.
so you want to hear my little conspiracy? I'm not a conspiracy theory guy, but do you want to hear my one conspiracy theory?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You know how like everyone freaked out about how like plastic straws are killing turtles?
Oh, save the turtles.
Did you notice that it's only one video of one turtle?
Mm-hmm.
And I looked it
Yeah.
up randomly a while ago, and I'm like, hey, video of turtles with straws. And it's just that one video. Like, it was like, well, that one video 10 separate times.
Like multiple times, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, wait a second. We saw one video of something horrible that shouldn't happen, and now we just assume that that's happening to every turtle ever.
I think you're like making it bigger than like every turtle ever. Like I don't think we necessarily think that.
Possibly.
But possibly. You know, like but yeah, I agree that like we as humans tend to take things to the extreme. So yeah, I see. Like, I'll be honest with you. I don't care about the turtles. I want to drink from a plastic straw. Even if it was happening to every turtle, I don't care.
I will say, it does suck trying to drink something from a paper straw when
it goes soggy in like a minute in the water. Yes. It could be like the high quality one too. Yes. But like if you're sitting down for a dinner with your family, bro, it's like an hour dinner. Doesn't matter. It's gonna be soggy by the middle.
Well, that's where you play the straw game where you put the straw in. You take a little bit of your drink, and then you pull the straw out, and you put it to the side. Like, that's the only way that you're able to...
No. I just asked for a new one.
You asked for a new one?
Yeah.
So then as I see more.
I see it get soggy. I'm like, hey, can I get a new straw? Mine's really, like, mushy and everything. I don't like it. I do. I ask for a new one. And then I'm like, they said, somebody told me one time, they were like, you should just buy a metal straw. And I'm like, and then I have to wash it when I get home and carry a Ziploc bag for it to go in, or like wash it at the restaurant. Like, no, just give me a plastic straw, bro.
I had friends that like had metal straws and like carried them around. Now, mind you, I also had a metal straw, but the reasoning was different, and it was like my family's metal straw. This sounds
passed down from generations to generations. Your family's metal straw.
No, honest to God, we had a metal straw because we were so tired of going to restaurants and having paper straws that we just took our own straw. But
I'm gonna bring plastic straws next time I go to one.
Bro, just start pulling out plastic straws like, you get a straw, you get a straw.
I'm gonna charge the customers $1. That's how I pay for my dinners now. Wait, that's a brilliant idea because I guarantee you people are going to be in there like, yeah, screw this.
We'll pay for that.
Give me that $1.
At a high-end restaurant, people will pay for that.
Yeah, 100%.
Bro, at the restaurant I work at, if people don't want vegetables or broccoli and they want sauteed spinach, we do a $5 upcharge for that crap.
That's crazy.
Yo, if you want your spinach sauteed, extra money.
You gonna upcharge me if I go to your restaurant?
Oh hell yeah!
How much?
I will give you the friends and family discount of charging you double.
I would expect nothing less, honestly. Because you better believe I'm not freaking tipping you.
Oh, bro. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't expect that, so I'm just going to charge you double. That's my tip.
Charge the double and take it as a tip. That's what I would do, honestly, because my family does not tip, bro.
So,
well, they do. My sister's a great tipper. My sister's fantastic and very nice to servers. But, like...
Let's go over this for a second. You go to a restaurant, okay?
Yeah.
You're in a restaurant. Yeah. I don't know why we're talking about this, but we are. You're in a restaurant, okay? And you have an amazing meal. The server is not amazing, but they're, like, solid. Good. How much do you tip?
20.
Okay. Why?
Because that's just what you do.
Okay. Fair. Now, let's say the server is amazing. How much?
100% of the bill.
Wait, really?
Every time I go out, if the server is on their freaking game, 100% of the bill.
So if the bill's like $100, you give them a $100 tip?
I give them $100 cash.
Really?
Yeah. I don't go out unless I can tip like that.
I guess I'm cheap then. Jeez.
What do you do? Sorry, I should not be sharing my tipping habits because I feel like my family watches this and they get pissed. They would get so pissed off that I tip 100% of the bill. Somebody was like, I tipped 100% of the bill like 4 or 5 years ago when I was still in Florida. And the person I was with looked at me and was like, I think you like moved a decimal point over. Like you want to add that there? And I'm like, no, it's all good. Because the bill was like $100.
Hey, so I will say
a tip on that would have been about 10 to 20, you know.
That makes the server's day. That makes their day. It really does.
And it's not like I'm trying to make their day. It's like they work a crappy job and should get tipped.
Yeah.
I don't think it's my job necessarily to tip them, but if they're really good, bro, they're getting 100% of the bill.
Right, you know, like we've all had like really good servers where you're like, okay, this is different. You know,
like if they're really good at their job, they'll get 100% from me.
Yeah, bro.
What do you tip?
So, if we're talking about like amazing, like
we're talking about 5 stars out of 5 stars, no, not a single complaint, everything to perfection. What are you tipping?
So I'm not against tipping double. You know, like if the bill is 50, giving them 50. However, I rarely experience serving that good. If the server's good, I will give 30 to 50%. But I also I don't go out much like that, you know.
Same.
Or if I do, I'm very specific. I get very few things. Like I don't really drink out as well because that's a massive money pot.
That's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, like everyone knows, like half the bill is just desserts, drinking, and appetizers. The other half is the actual entree. But like for example, if I go with like some friends and we're going downtown and they like go to a sports bar or something like that, and I get like some calamari and some food, and the server's like good and like and is funny and talks to me, yeah, I'll give like 30% if possible.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a weirdo and I also don't like having money, so I give it.
I will say though, have you ever been to a place where they have like that handheld thing, Toast?
Huh?
Okay, so you know how like let's say you're paying with your card, usually they take your card over to like the register.
Oh, like the handheld pay one?
Yes.
Yeah.
So here's something I found out.
I hate those.
Sometimes people, you'll tip them cash, and on the handheld, they'll type in an extra tip on there, so they get tipped twice. And I didn't think that was a thing until someone gave it to me, and they already hit the max amount of tip on there and gave it to me and just said, just sign. And I saw that, you know, being in the industry, I'm like, nope, lowest tip. And I just signed it. Cause I'm like, if you're going to be great, like you don't have to convince me to tip you more. Like I'll just tip you more. Yeah. You don't have to do that. But because you did that, I'm going to give you less.
Yeah. If somebody's like asking for a tip or telling me about their life problems, I don't tip 100%, even if the service is great.
Yeah.
I go back to the 20% rule because it feels like manipulative. Now, like,
Exactly.
there's nuance to it. Like, you know, I don't just like the service is great, it's awesome, but like if they're tip begging, it feels awkward to me, and
Well,
so I don't.
I think there's a difference between like they're joking about it and like we all know like it's funny
Yeah, and
versus
like I'm
like
having a good time
yes.
about it versus like they're making me feel bad because I'm eating out and I'm not tipping them 50% here. I'm
Well,
like,
like
I'm not doing it.
once a guy wanted to get a special at the restaurant I work at, and it was like $10 cheaper than he thought it was. And so I joked around. I was like, maybe you can just give that for me as a tip. And he thought it was the funniest thing ever.
Because it's funny. Because
Yeah.
that's funny. But like if it's,
And I don't mean it.
we've all been in those situations though where they mean it,
Yeah. Oh man, it's so awkward.
and it's so awkward. I'm like, if I could justify giving you nothing right now, morally, I would.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
can't. Like,
Yeah.
because it just seems scummy to me. Very manipulative. And so obviously, you know,
So
it's
can I ask
not
you
a
another
hard question,
question?
but
I know
okay.
we're like completely off topic
We're
today,
so off, bro. We're
but
probably not getting back. But what's up?
I'm just fascinated by this. Okay.
You've never been out with me when I pay. That's why you don't know about it.
Well, this.
Well, also, and I hide it when
Well,
I think we've gone out before, but I've like
you hide it, and also like I feel like it's rude to say like how much you tip the person. You know, like it's a bit weird. But let's say
if I'm in a group of people and they're paying for themselves, I do ask that question because I'm like,
that makes sense.
Like, yeah, because if it's like a big party, I asked somebody, I was like, how much did you tip?
Yeah,
because I'm like, if it's like a party, I had like a party of 20 go out recently, and I asked the question, I was like, so how much did you tip? And they're like, $5. I'm like, bro, it's a party of 20. So I felt I had an obligation to at that point tip more than 100% of my bill, which was only $17.
Because you wanted to compensate for them. Yeah.
Because they did not tip anything. And then some people didn't tip at all. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And I don't want the server to miss out on a good tip because of, you know.
Yo, so let's say hypothetically,
manners.
like, server's terrible, like, really bad. There's this weird thing sometimes with Christians where they're like, well, I still got to tip really good. So I'm curious, if the server's terrible to you, do you still tip really good or no?
No.
Okay, why?
Because they still get the 20%, but I talked to them, I'm like, dude, you screwed it up, man. Like, I know it's your job, and that's the only reason why I'm having this conversation. You got 20% on the check, congrats. Call me a nice guy, whatever you want to do, but like it was bad tonight. Like, I don't know what's up with you, but I'm not going to complain to your manager, but I just need you to know, like I could tell, like it was really off. Now, that might be rude to some people, but for me, I'm a straightforward guy. So if I'm off and I have like a bad attitude, or like I'm just like bad at my job, I'd want somebody to tell me. So I just do it as a courtesy at that point. I don't tip any differently, but they're not getting the 30 to 50% or 100%.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Like I think it's because because whether I like it or not, they still require my tip to live.
Yes.
And so I will tip. I don't not tip.
Yeah, agree.
Because if it's something like Chipotle, you know how they flip the freaking thing? Zero. Zero. I'm not tipping on that. But like sit down restaurant, they need my tip to live, and so I'll tip, but I'll tell them. I'm like, dude, yo, it sucked, man. Here's what was wrong. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not trying to judge you, but like, I just want to let you know, like, it was off.
That ain't it, Chief. That ain't it.
And it's not like I'm punishing them for having a bad day by not tipping. I'm still tipping 20%, which is customary in America.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm just having the conversation like, dude, I don't know what was going on, but like, it was off.
Yeah.
It was
I
off
agree
today.
with that. I think for me, like, I try to first see, like, hey, is it because, like, your boss just yelled at you and, like, you're struggling?
Well, we talk to our server and we actually, like,
you
care.
and me.
And so that's why, I feel like I can have that conversation because, like, throughout the whole meal, I'm trying to talk to them, trying to get to know them as a person, and it's not like a transactional thing. It's like I want to make sure they're having a decent day,
you and me.
That's a part of it. That's a part of it. And so that's why it's like, it's not like a judgmental thing. It's like dude, something's just off. Like in the whole, you can tell when something's off. Like we were at Ginza that one time. That one server was off, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She wasn't bad at her job. She wasn't doing anything wrong. And she still provided great service, but something, bro, was off. And so we talked to him.
Was that the one where she was in the cult?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
And we were trying to get her to leave the cult.
conversation.
That was a weird conversation. But we wouldn't have gotten there if we didn't show that we cared at the beginning.
Yeah. But that's also like you and me at a restaurant. We're like, we'll just talk to anyone, and it's the funniest thing, man.
We need to start vlogging.
Yeah.
We need to start vlogging that stuff. That'd be fun.
And bro, speaking of vlogging, terrible transition. You ready for the worst one?
All right. Yeah, just hit me with the worst one so I can just blow my brains out.
All right. 2.3 million for a study on whether cats prefer Zoom calls over FaceTime.
No. Oh, yo, that's crazy.
And I got one more just for fun.
All right.
Do you know that the government is providing a $12 million grant for a 30-court pickleball complex in Las Vegas?
I did not know that. No.
Yeah. Just I like pickleball as much as the next guy, but I mean that's a lot of money, bro.
Dude, that's a lot of pickleball.
That's 30 courts. That's nothing.
That's a lot of balls. Wow. That much money. That'll buy you a lot.
A lot of pickleballs.
Wow. I feel like this whole session is shot, and I don't even know if I want to do my serious story or if I just want to go to my fun thing.
Dude, up to you, man. I'll do the weave. You know, either way.
The weave. You ready? I'm gonna go. See, nope, just kidding. All right, Drew. You've got $15 to build the craziest news story. I'm gonna give you categories. I'm gonna tell you how much it costs.
Wait, I have $15 to build an. Is this we're doing this?
Yes, we're doing this right now.
I'm excited. Okay, let's go.
All right. Your first is your topic.
Okay.
For $5, you've got political. For $4, you've got social. For $3, you've got a fluff piece. For $2, you've got world news. And for $1, it's investigative.
Okay. Can I hear the other categories so I can know what?
No.
I want to spend my money wisely and be efficient with my money.
No.
Oh, I'm stuck there?
I'm not telling you the next one until we hit it.
Oh, jeez. Okay. So 5 is political, 4 is
5
social.
political, 4 social, 3 is the fluff piece, 2 is world news, and 1 is investigative.
Do I get to choose if it's political, like what it's political about? Or
yes,
no?
Yeah, and you can, and at the end you'll tell your news story.
Oh, okay, so I get to tell the news story.
You get to tell the news story, but this is how you're building it, right?
Oh, bro, I'm gonna make the most insane news story ever.
You've only got $15, and I will tell you there's 4 categories.
Okay, there's 4 categories. I appreciate that. I will do world news.
World news for 2? Man, that might have been underpriced. I'm not gonna lie.
Because here's why. You can do world news, but it's still political.
This is true, but you're kind of using the loophole on that one. All right.
I like loopholes.
Hey, you like loopholes.
Have
you heard about? Okay, the next one is the person that this news story will center around. All right. For $5, you've got Diddy. For $4, you've got Trump. For $3, you've got Patrick Mahomes. For $2, you've got Will Smith. And for $1, you've got Tom Cruise. No bad options here, I don't think.
I never thought I'd say this, but I might choose Diddy over Trump.
Yo, you've got the budget. You've got $13 here.
You know what? I have an idea of where I want the story to go. I'm going to choose Diddy.
You're choosing Diddy. All right. International diddler. All right. That's gotcha. And now you've got to choose where this news story takes place.
Okay.
And so keep in mind, this is locations of where what happened, things like that. So you've got, for $5, you've got Florida.
I just still can't believe it's Diddy.
Now listen, so where it takes place, for $5, you've got Florida.
Okay.
For $4, you've got California. For $3, you've got Russia. Or for $3, you've got Ukraine. For $2, you've got Russia.
Okay.
For $1, it's Canada, because Canada sucks. You've got $8 left to spend.
Okay. I'm going to do Ukraine So that way, if
Oh
I want
my
to spend
gosh.
the 5, I can spend the 5.
Dang, I should have added another category. This is too easy. Notes for next time. Notes for next time.
Next
All right,
time.
you're on Ukraine.
I'll do something like this next time to you.
So this is like the publisher. This is who's funding your news story,
Okay.
right? So it'll affect how many details you can add.
Okay.
Since you've got $5, you've got okay.
A lot of details.
You might come
me.
in under budget here.
I'm more efficient than the government. Let's go,
dude. For real, like can't balance a checkbook, but yeah. All right. So the publisher options are this: for $5, you've got CNN. For $4, you've got Fox News. For $3, some generic national news organization.
Okay.
For $2, a major city organization, and for $1, you've got your hometown.
I mean, let's just make it more inflammatory. I choose CNN.
All right. So this is what you've picked. You've picked world news with Diddy as your topic, your person that you want to focus on. The location that you have to incorporate now is Ukraine, and you are funded by CNN, the Clinton News Network here.
Okay, are you ready for something that might get us banned from YouTube?
Please get us banned. Go ahead.
Okay, so here's the story. New article comes out in filing with Diddy in his court case that apparently him and Zelensky had a secret underground thing going on.
Adding Ukraine in immediately, sold it. Continue.
It turns out that possibly Zelensky didn't go to the Oval Office just to see Trump, but to infer to make sure that his secret identity is safe.
This is very Fox News, like conspiracy theory.
I have a source, okay? That
you have a source? All right.
I have a source that tells me that Putin might be in play, but we don't know if he's the aggressor or the buyer. We're not sure.
We don't know where he's at in this story, but we know he exists. All right, continue.
Yeah, he's in there. But you know what? In the nick of time, Trump comes in, Uno reverse cards everything, and says, "I have the cards."
Yo, you just added Trump in there. He was a topic.
Merry
he
Christmas.
Was somebody you could have. No, that's cheating.
Okay.
You added Trump.
Okay, I'll remove Trump. Vance. And we'll throw in Obama in there, and we'll make a great story. CNN's great. Right, there you go.
I did not know about Diddy or Vance's relationship with Diddy. I didn't know. I didn't know.
I'll be honest. I was not expecting Diddy on my bingo card.
Did you not expect Diddy at the 5 option?
No, I did not. I thought it was Trump.
I should have made him cost more.
I thought it was Trump all the way, and I was excited for Trump, and I'm like, I have the easiest story, and then you gift wrapped to me the best story.
Something about Diddy doing Diddy things.
Just, oh, geez, man.
That's crazy.
I can't believe it. That's a great game.
Construct your news story with $15.
Yo, did you like make that up on the spot, or did you just find it?
No, I made it up.
Bro, I like that. I gotta do something like that for you next time.
I saw that on some stuff, and I was like, oh man, that'd be fun doing a $15 game. Like have everything going, you know?
Okay. So here's a hypothetical. Okay.
Okay, hit me.
You only get one of these three. Which one do you choose?
Okay.
Do you want America's military, China's ability to just have as many people as they want,
to spawn people from
to spawn people,
yes,
or Vladimir Putin?
Like the person, just Vlad?
Yeah, like who he is and what he's done. What would you rather have?
Dude, what kind of question is that?
I don't know.
Vlad.
I'm
going Vlad.
You're going Vlad?
I think Vlad single-handedly kills the Chinese army by pure just the impaler vibes.
So what you're saying is you want Vladdy Daddy.
I want the horse riding man himself.
Have you seen those propaganda films of Vladimir Putin like playing hockey against a professional team and beating them all?
Yes. Yeah, that's why I want him, because he's so good.
So
he's good. He's the most interesting man in the world.
He's the Dos Equis guy.
Yeah, he is. He's the most interesting man in the world.
Bro, we live in a time where Trump is president
Oh
and
my
Vladimir
God.
Putin is president as well. Like, this is president. Sorry, president.
President.
You want to hear a really funny fact that I just heard?
Yeah, what?
Okay, so I'm gonna get like oddly serious now. Initially, I was like for Ukraine, and I'm like, hey, let's make sure they win. I just found out recently. Did you know that Zelensky hasn't allowed an election in his country for like 2 years on purpose?
He's allowed that right by the Constitution of Ukraine.
He is, but then part of the deal was that America offered is, hey, we'll help you. You just have to have an election. He's like, I don't know about that.
Ukraine is notorious for corruption.
I mean, hey,
Let's say that.
I'm not surprised. I'll just say that.
Would you rather be a Ukrainian citizen or a Chinese citizen?
Ooh, that's okay.
Isn't it?
Are we talking about Ukrainian citizen as me, a 28-year-old man?
We're talking about in general. And then you can be as specific or inspecific as you want. Because as a 28-year-old man, you would be in the Chinese military until you're like 35.
Yes. But if I'm in Ukraine, I'm drafted. So
not unless Trump does the ceasefire thing that he's been talking about.
This is true. This is true. Oh, this is a hard choice.
Isn't it? Like, they're both really bad situations right now.
They are. They are.
But China's actually doing good economically.
Yes. But there's also the
whole communist regime and prison.
Yeah. and like the black sites that they send people to that are
what black sites? They don't exist.
I'm sorry, I forgot. Wrong place. I might actually go for Ukraine.
Really?
I'll be honest. Yeah. Because
that's crazy.
No matter how bad that war is, I could just like go to Poland or something like that. But we're gonna go in China. You can't really leave.
You can go to Russia, but they'll send you back.
I mean, do you want to go to Russia?
I mean, same situation. You're getting drafted.
You're getting drafted.
You're getting drafted, bro. They need bodies.
Wagner, man, coming in hot.
Wagner. The leader of Wagner mysteriously kills himself by shooting himself in the back of the head 7 times and then jumping off a building after.
It was definitely a suicide.
It was.
We have gone so far off in this podcast, and I'm okay with it, personally.
And I think we're done for tonight.
Yeah. This is going to be a shorter one.
Well, with that being said, I'm glad that we got back.
Yes,
and
definitely.
And next week will be more organized. This is just us getting back in the swing of things.
It does take I will say it does take a lot of effort to do these things, and like the amount of information we have to process in a week. So it's good to be back, get in the groove.
Yeah, do a little dance, Drew.
I'm not gonna sing the rest of the song.
Watch me.
Get down
watch
tonight.
me. Ooh, watch me.
Oh,
watch
I was
me.
thinking that one.
Ooh.
I was thinking the original like 70s song.
Oh, I don't like the 70s. That was a weird era. Disco and everything.
Disco's great, man.
You go to Hoedown, buddy. You don't even go to the disco bar anymore.
You know what? You're right. But still. Okay, I guess we'll end it there. We're not getting any better.
We're not getting any better. It's just going to get worse.
Thank you so much for listening to this, and hopefully we're better next week.
Do better.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night.